Hi, this is Krista. Welcome back to Growing Older and Wiser, with the emphasis on wiser. What we want here is we know we're going to keep growing older. That's been happening since we were born. But what we want to do now is that's great. Keep growing older, but let's get wiser. And maybe you're already as wise as you can be. Congratulations. Some days I feel really wise, and then there are those days I feel very unwise. So here's a question I have for you. Are you doing what you really want to be doing? I kind of alluded to this in an earlier video where I asked you, are there things that you haven't done in your life that you really want to do? Make a list and not like a bucket list, but something even more meaningful than that. But anyway, this is a little different. It's really like, are you being who you want to be? Are you becoming who you want to become? I just started reading a book. I'm just a couple of chapters in, if that. I've had the book for a while on my phone, and I just started reading it. Anyway, it's called Old in Art School, a Memoir of Starting Over. And the author is Nell Painter. And Nell is Black, female, and 64 years old when she wrote the book. And she's very accomplished as an author. She has tons of books that she's written. She has fellowships. She's just this brilliant person. And she decides to go back to art school. And so the book is going to be about her journey there. And she's already started with, the younger people looking at her and going, well, how old are you? And she's only in her mid-60s. And I'm thinking, whoa, what about these people who go back to school, at 90 or 80 or 100, whatever it is. But as I'm reading it, I thought, how many times do people who have grown older not do what they really want to do? And because it's like there's a switch that goes off at some point that for many people indicates, okay, got to hang it up now. This is not the time to be doing new things. This is not the time for me to go back to school, for me to take a course, for me to learn something brand new. So my question to you is, if you feel that way, why not? Why aren't you doing what you really want to do? Have you always wanted to write a book? Why aren't you doing it? Have you always wanted to learn to paint or draw? Why not do it? Do you realize how much is on YouTube? You don't even have to leave your home anymore. You can learn to paint, to draw, to do crochet, to do carpentry, to cook. You name what it is. Maybe not brain surgery, okay? And maybe not going to the moon. Maybe not how to be an astronaut. But you know what? I'll bet you there is a YouTube video that tells you what you need to do to prepare to go to astronaut school. I'll bet you there is. I have not found anything I've ever looked for that I went to YouTube that there isn't a video. So whatever it is you want to do, whoever it is you want to become, you don't even have to leave your home. But if you want to leave your home, you want to go back to school, you want to move to the other side of the country, whatever country you live in, is it something you can really do? And if so, and if you really want to do it, why aren't you doing it? Are you letting your age stop you? Are you letting lack of funds stop you? Are you letting criticism from your children, your neighbors, your friends, your parents, if they're still around? Are you letting any of these things stop you from doing what you want to do? Really think about that. Now, if everything's going hunky-dory, you're fine, hey, I celebrate that. That's awesome. But if it's not, time to take a look. And as I'm starting to read this book, this woman, I'm thinking of my own mother. My mother went back to school in her 60s, in her early 60s, kind of like this woman. She had not, different from this woman, however, my mom had not been in school for many, many years and actually had become a school teacher, and she taught for many, many years. And she wanted to go back and get her PhD in liturgical music. She was a musician. She passed on in the early 90s. Not her early 90s, the early 1990s. But she had played church organs for Lutheran churches, Catholic churches. She had always done that, and she wanted to get her PhD in liturgical music. The only way she could do it would be back then, because this is a while back now. This is back in the 60s that she did this. she had to enroll at a physical college. She lived in San Antonio, Texas. The closest college that offered the degree she wanted was in Austin, Texas, about an hour away. And so she found a little apartment and she rented it and she went to the classes and she got her PhD. Now, did my father support her? No, he did not. My father was very much not, you wouldn't have matched him up, let's put it that way, right? I think she stretched him and he stretched her, and hey, isn't that part of a good relationship? But at the time even, I was so proud of my mom that she would go after what she really wanted, even though he didn't want her to do it, even though it meant renting a little apartment. She hadn't lived anywhere other than our house since the 40s, so 20 years. I'm sharing this with you because I'm hoping that if you're not doing what you want to do in your life right now, no matter what age you are, find a way to do it. I want to be that voice. I want to be that little angel that sits on your shoulder and says, do it, do it, do it. Don't wait until you're in your 80s, 90s, or 100s to be sitting there and going, I have regrets. I wish I'd gone back to school and done this. I wish I'd opened that business. I wish, I wish, I wish. Let's not have regrets. That's part of growing older and wiser. And if you really, really are in a situation where you legitimately can't go do something you'd really like to do for whatever the reason, find an alternate way to satisfy whatever that itch or that urge is. You know, maybe you won't go back to university. Maybe you won't ever draw a picture. But there is a way that you can use your creativity to be doing the things that you really want to do. And if what you really want to do is nothing and sit and stare out a window, good for you. I do that some days. I love it. However, there are other days where I'm really much happier talking to you or doing other things that I do with my life. So I'm going to quit rambling on. I am getting a little rambly today, but that's okay. I approve of myself anyway. Alrighty. Find out what it is that you really want to be doing and go do it. Take care. See you next week.